Hi guys.
What's happening, people?
So we're back again after a while. It's been a while, hasn't
It's been a very long while. So this is a bit of a life update type of vlog.
Yeah, ish.
Ish.
So right now we're currently in Jamaica, enjoying our vacation, but we had some free time, and obviously as it's approaching Tega's, our son, first birthday, we thought why not share our birth vlog with you guys.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
so it's going to be quick, to the point, snappy.
Mind you, in this vlog, we're going to get intervals where I'm going to be out of the frame, Susan's going to be talking, I'm going to come back into the frame because although we are on holiday, we're still looking after Tega, and Tega's just woken up.
Yep.
So he's going to start fussing in a minute, and we're going to attend to him. But let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So I want to know how you felt that Saturday.
What of the birth?
That Saturday, yes. You know,
it was just a normal Saturday, just like a normal Saturday, right? But in the morning, right? That's how it started, right? In the morning.
So it was a week before my due date.
It was a week before your due date, and in the morning you said to me you were feeling pains, cramps, and then I was like, okay, and he said no, but these cramps are like, you know,
regular.
Do you know what I mean? They're regular cramps.
Mm-hmm.
And then I then said to you, I was like, hold on a minute, is it a common thing that for you to feel these cramps, and then today and then tomorrow you go back to being normal? You then said to me, no. And I said, okay, so doesn't that mean that the baby is coming? Because you and I, we had a suspicion that the baby would be coming. It was a Saturday, yes. So we had a suspicion, although it's a week into the to your due date, that the baby would arrive within the next two to 3 days.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, boom, like the baby is coming. But you didn't believe.
I didn't believe it. In my mind, it was just set that baby was not going to be here till Wednesday. I don't know why. I just had that date in mind, but I just felt like, nope. That Saturday is too early. I've got a few more days to just do things, and then the baby will come. So I wasn't completely in denial. Even having those regular contractions, I just thought they were Braxton Hicks, and I just thought they'll subside and go away eventually. But no, they didn't.
Yeah. So then,
so they progressed tonight.
Yeah, they progressed. No, in the morning, after we had that previous conversation, I essentially, literally, like, took the baby seat. And I put the baby seat in the car. Yes. Because I knew, I was like, oh, hold a minute, even if the baby doesn't come, but if the baby does come and we're not ready, at least we've got the baby seat in the car. And if we were to go to the hospital, deliver the baby, they will allow us to take the baby out, because they won't allow you to take the baby out of the hospital if you do not have a baby seat. So I had to make sure that was all attached. And then they progressed on to afternoon. And then I was like, and then your cramps kept on going.
It was just constant. It wasn't so regular. So I think it was about maybe 35 to 40 minutes apart.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like constant.
Yeah, but to me at that time it had become apparent that the baby's coming. So then I actually suggested, I was like, you know what, let's go to the cinema.
Yep. So at that time Spider-Man had just come out. So we said, okay, why not? Well, he said, why not go watch the movie?
Yeah.
I was like, absolutely not, because I was in so much pain. I didn't feel like going to the cinema and watching a film, but he said, look, it'll get your mind off things. It's a good idea. And so we went.
Yeah, no, we went to the cinema. And what were you thinking at the time when I said, you know, because at first it was a bit reluctant to wanting to go to the cinema.
I didn't want to go out. I was absolutely against it because I was not feeling good. I felt, I'm very uncomfortable. And all I wanted to do at that moment, a week before my due date, I just wanted to rest. Yeah. I'm not trying to be going to the cinema with people.
But at the time, you're literally in labour.
Yeah.
At the early stage of labour. Yeah. And I'm there suggesting let's go to the cinema. Yeah. What was then running through your mind? Because you agreed to go, we went to the cinema.
Like I said, I didn't want to go there, but then at the same time, you said it would be a good distraction, and I agreed. It would be a good distraction. So I said, you know what, let me just go. It's not too far from our house, the cinema. So I said, you know what, let's go. Everyone's been saying how good of a movie it is, why not? Okay,
well, so we went to the cinema.
Yep.
And we're watching Spider-Man. Every minute, she's just like, ah! And I just kept on feeling, like, in my mind I was thinking, I feel like the cinema was great because then it allowed me time to process the fact that, hold on a minute, my wife's in labour. So, like every other minute, he was literally just there, like, grabbing me. And in the cinema, I was actually playing, I was plotting to myself, I was thinking, when we get home, because I hadn't eaten, remember? And I was like, when we get home, first of all, I need to eat. Yep. Then I need to pack I hadn't packed my hospital bag yet. So I was like, I need to pack my hospital bag. I was just making sure, just preparing it, right? Mentally. And when the movie finished, boom, we ran straight home, right? We'll go. And by that time, the pains were quite severe, weren't they?
Yeah, they were starting to become more regular. So rather than every 40 minutes, they were now like every sort of 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to get home and rest. I was so tired. And at that time, we got home at about 12 a.m.
Yeah.
So I immediately, as soon as I got home, I went to sleep. You were like, I'm going to make food, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going upstairs to try and catch some sleep.
But you couldn't
Didn't
sleep.
happen.
You couldn't sleep.
I could not sleep. So
after I ate, I packed my stuff.
Bed, yeah.
I went. No. After I ate, packed my stuff. I came to you, and then we were meant to sleep in the same room. But then you was like,
I was in so much agony. So I was like moaning. "Ah." So I was like, you know what? Let me let him get some sleep.
Yeah.
So I decided to sleep in the guest room.
Yeah, he slept in the guest room, I slept in the main room, and then I told you, I was like, look, if the pain gets very severe, call me, I'm going to leave my phone on, all right? And then at like, what, 3 a.m.?
3 a.m., exactly 3 a.m. I was like, because all throughout, from 12 to 3, I was not sleeping. I was just rolling around on the bed, trying to just breathe through all the contractions I was getting. By 3 a.m., I was like, this is not going away sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's just coming more and more regular. So I called Corey. Corey ran to the room. Was like, is everything okay? Is everything? I was like, yeah, everything's okay, but it's really, really painful right now. But you're just there with me, like just
Yeah, it was literally because you had
telling me one more.
Yeah, at the time the cramps were the cramp was still there. Like, was still coming, but at this point the cramps are like what, every 20 minutes or so?
No, yeah, about every 25 minutes, and then it'll go down to 20 minutes, and then it'll go up to 25 minutes, and then it was just like not as regular, but still sort of getting shorter, but then a little bit longer. So it wasn't at that point where I could go to the hospital.
At this time we were still in the house.
Yeah, we rang them around 3.
So we rang them around 3. No, it wasn't 3, babe. It was
we
like
rang
around...
them twice. Remember, we rang them around 3.
No, we rang them around 5 as well. We rang them around 5, and that's when they said to us, like, when is it? I said, oh, at this point it's like, what, every 7-8 minutes? And they said, no, we need to push it, let it go a bit less. But yeah, we're skipping ahead right now. Let's stick to the timeline, all right? But anyways. So I came to the room, stayed with you. You were still in pain. We were like...
I wanted to go to the hospital, so I was like, obviously I knew that they needed to be 5 minutes apart or 10 minutes apart.
For your contractions?
Yeah.
No. It needed to be at least, well, they would only allow you
a minute
around...
Was it a minute apart? I can't remember now. What was it?
No, it was like 5 minutes.
Is it 5 minutes apart?
Yeah.
Lasting for a minute?
Yeah.
Yes.
About 5-4 minutes,
yeah, so
that's what they said.
Yeah, 4 or 5 minutes apart, lasting for a minute.
Yeah.
I wasn't there yet, but at the same time, I just felt like I don't know how much longer I was gonna last, but you knew that there's no point us going in the hospital because they'll just send us back home.
Yeah.
So every single time a contraction came, Corey would be like, push through, one more contraction. And I would be like, okay, cool, one more contraction, and then we could go to the hospital. But then it was just a mind game thing.
It
just
literally
to,
it was.
Keep going sort of thing.
And at that point you came to the main bedroom, you was on all fours, and then I think it was like...
This was at 6 a.m. now.
Yeah, it was at 6 a.m. now, I think. I don't know, it was either you or the nurse on the phone that suggested you taking a hot bath because it would subside everything.
Yeah.
But then,
midwife.
A midwife. But then when I went to try to turn the tap on or whatever, at this point, the hot water on, you was like, look, you can't do it anymore. We need to go.
Yeah, because at that point, the hot water was heating up, so the bath was still running. And at that point, I was on all fours in the bedroom. I was no longer on the bed. I was just like...
It was everywhere. You was everywhere. You was hysterical.
Yeah.
Even I feel bad as well because at one point, right, you were screaming and shouting so much and you were just saying things that was so funny that I had to turn around and laugh.
No, because every single time I was just like, look, God, just get me through each and every contraction. Like, I need your help right now. So I was just, in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I had a really, really strong contraction. And I was just like,
screamed.
Corey, forget the bath.
I'm sure the neighbours heard that. I'm sure everybody heard it.
They definitely heard it. I was like, forget the bath.
After that scream, I said, yep, let's go.
Yeah.
So we got to the hospital. We drove off to the hospital at what time?
It was around 7:40.
Around 7:40 something. Yeah.
Close to 8 o'clock.
Yeah. So we got to the hospital.
8:15.
No, baby. No.
You said
we left at about 7:35 or 7:40. We got to the hospital at about 8 o'clock-ish or 8:05. I paid for parking because I remember I've got a ticket. Hello, baby. We paid for parking, and I remember parking was like what, 8:10. By 9, was it 9:30? We were in the ward.
No, baby, your timing is off.
Wow.
So basically, we got to the hospital around 8:20. We were parked in the hospital.
Who?
8:20. We were admitted at 8:40. into the ward.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Into the ward. So we got to the hospital around 8:20. We went upstairs. Before you can go into the actual labour ward, someone has to check you. You have to do like a questionnaire and all that stuff. We gave that questionnaire in. Then the woman came in and said, okay, now you can come in. That was around 8:40 a.m. in the morning. Once we got in, she checked my cervix. She said that I was 4 centimeters and I was not going back home. That's when it dawned on me. Yeah. I'm in labour. Only then. I thought maybe they'll be like, oh, you still got time. But then I was like, okay, I'm in labour. I had it planned that I would have a water birth, but at that time, COVID was still happening and the water birth centre wasn't prepared. So I had to...
To be honest with you, I personally don't...
He's like,
hello, Tete. Hello.
What are you guys doing?
I personally don't believe I don't believe they were going to do the water birth thing.
Yeah.
I don't believe they were going to do it. Because I just don't see how. Like, I just don't know. To me, it just came across as they had no intention to do the water birth plan for you.
We say that because a few of our friends who had given birth earlier, they sort of got the same. It
wasn't mentioned. They didn't even go through it. You had your book with you. They didn't go through the book. They didn't go to say, oh yeah, right, okay, water birth. Let's prepare that. Let's take her to this section or whatever. When we got there, it was more like, oh, you're in labour. Checked. Oh, you're 4 centimeters. Oh, sorry, it's too late now. We need to go. You know. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, like if anyone comes to you, they'll be in labour. So at which point do you then tell them, oh, by the way, yeah, let's go prepare the water birth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just more like, hello, baby. Tay. In a second. Right, so to me it was more like, oh, you're in labour, we're there, oh, get to this place, let's go deliver.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I remember when she told me you were not, I was on gas and air at the same time, so I had to ask Corey after the gas and air had worn out, what did she just say? Because she was talking to me, but it was just going in out of the other ear. Yeah. So when Corey then told me, oh, you're not having a water birth anymore, in my heart, I was so disappointed, but at the same time, I just knew that, okay, you know what? Regardless, I'm gonna push this baby out and the baby is gonna come out. I'm gonna meet this baby, water birth or not, I have to meet this baby.
That gas and air, bro, it really gassed her. Oh.
No, I mean, the gas and air, I
remember. Susan, you was like, banana, I want bananas. I was like, why do you want bananas? It's like, it will give me energy. Energy!
Honestly, everything was funny on the gas and air. Like the most random things I just found so funny. But it did help to subside the pain. I remember at the start I was just like, gosh, this is really, really painful. But once I had the gas and air, I knew I could do it. Even though I was saying I can't do it.
And you were scrambling for an epidural.
I wanted an epidural, but then I knew deep down I could do it. So I'm so happy. You know, first of all, they said that the epidural, the guy, the anaesthetist, wasn't available. That he was on the COVID ward. Yeah. So then they were like, but he'll come to do it. So
I had what's the word? I didn't believe it was going to come. I didn't believe it was going to come.
I had hope, and I kept on asking, is he here now? Because every time the door would open, I'm like, is he here? And they were like, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got transferred to the actual place to have the baby. By the time we got there, you know, we were getting changed. They strapped me to check the baby's heartbeat and things like that. So I didn't have to change my clothes. As I changed my clothes, the monitor sort of shifted, so they lost the baby's heartbeat. At that point, we were panicking because they had then left.
It was just you and I in the room.
To get changed. So they left the room for me to get changed, and then we couldn't hear the heartbeat anymore in the monitor. It just gone silent, and then you were panicking. You were like, "What's going on?" So you ran out, trying to get the midwife's attention. They all came in. Yeah. They all were all flustered, like trying to
trying to find the baby's heart rate.
There was silence. When I tell you silence,
mate, you can hear a pin drop. At that point, I was thinking.
I'm just like, what?
I was thinking, hey, yo, what, fam? Get me. I was like, hey, what's going on there?
They were trying to find it, and then they finally found it. I was like, okay, praise God, it's there. It was weak, but it was there. They then left again. I don't know where they went to. I think they said they were gonna go get some things. And then all I heard was a gush, like an explosion. I was like, I think my water just broke. It was all wet.
Everywhere was proper wet. Wet.
And then again, you had to call them back in. And then they checked me again, and they were like, "You're 10 centimeters." I was like, "I need to push."
Yeah,
they were still trying to put my legs on the
it was very funny. It was funny because the way it happened was so quick.
So quick.
When they said, "Oh, you're 4 centimeters," after your water broke, right? Like. Almost immediately afterwards, and to push.
It was immediately.
And then they were like, sorry? I need to push. But you said it with so much certainty that it caused like chaos in delivery wards, and they were like,
they were trying to put my legs up, they were trying to raise the bed up, and I was like, I didn't even care. When I said I need to push, I literally pushed. So that was my first push. Yeah. They finally got my legs up, and then I said, and then the woman was like, push. I was like, nope, I'm not ready to push. Like I haven't got. But at this point,
after the first and the second push, we started seeing Tega's head.
The second push.
Yeah, after the second push.
So then I pushed again. When I got the contraction, I then said, okay, I'm gonna push now. Pushed, and then they could see his head. Yeah. And they were like, we can see the head, and I was like, oh my god, they can see the head.
No, you proper went like that. You were so happy.
I was so excited, and I don't know where the strength came from, but I just got this energy to like push. Yeah. And then I pushed him. The whole head came out.
No. The third push, everything came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It was the second push.
The second push, the head came out.
The head came out. Third push. The funny thing about the third push, it was a bit longer than the second push.
Yeah, I gave him my all.
No, I mean the interval. Oh. So there was a long period between the second and the third push, right? But on the third push, it was so funny because once again we were not ready. Even I wasn't ready. So when you did the third push, Tega came gushing out so fast,
like a rocket.
Like the woman, the nurse, or the midwife, like nearly missed. Look at him laughing at himself. You're the rocket. Anyways, so he came out so quick that she just like staggered. Oh my god, I was thinking if you drop my baby. Oh. So
and when he came out. When he came out, you said he was like his umbilical cord.
Yeah, he had his umbilical cord wrapped around his neck twice.
Yeah, so he was just still.
He was still. He didn't
move. Cry. He was just there like. So then again, silence. So they were trying to unravel.
So they unraveled it. The nurse quickly unraveled it twice, and then the moment she unraveled it, he just went.
And I was like, oh, praise God, my baby's all right.
And then he peed, didn't he?
That was it, because we didn't know the sex either. So when she unraveled the cord, she raised him up, and then all I saw was like a rainbow of pee, like pee. And I was like, oh my God, I looked to Corey, it's a boy. And then so that was a birth story. So all in all, it was such a, I would say, magical experience. I felt really empowered giving birth. I felt really empowered giving birth. I felt in a way in control, even though at times I wasn't in control. I felt like you were in control, so I was also in control. I think it's so important to do your research before giving birth or even being pregnant, to know your rights, to know what can happen, the different types of delivery methods, even know your own self, your own body, your own mental state. Because if someone's telling you, oh, I don't think you can do it, you need an epidural, you can say, no, actually, I can do it, I don't need an epidural.
Even as well, you were offered another type of
medication. So I was offered an injection, and
but I think the lady said, because at that point you were on gas and air, and then they said to me that, excuse me, there might be side effects to this injection, and I said what? They said it could put the baby to sleep, make the baby sleepy, and make you sleepy. And I said, what does that mean? And the lady said, like in layman's terms, it would slow down your heart rate and his heart rate. To which I knew for certain you would have said no to that. And that's why it's very important to know what you want, because throughout your whole pregnancy, you weren't even no medication, nothing whatsoever.
Nothing at all.
Nothing throughout the whole pregnancy. So I knew that if you wouldn't, even though you're not like in the right state of mind at the time to be answering those questions, I knew for certain the answer was no.
So it's nice to know it's nice to let your partner know what you want as well, so that they can advocate for you. So it's really important. I mean, I'm lucky and blessed that I had such a good experiences, that my midwives were really, really good. I felt they were very good. I didn't have any sort of like, I didn't feel like I wasn't being listened to, because I know a lot of black women, they feel that way. They feel like they're not listened to. They feel like they're just pushed aside. But I didn't feel that way, so I'm blessed for that reason. But as I said, I think it's so important to do your research and knowing all the types of interventions that can happen, and also just being clued up, And another thing is also to know your own body. I think, like you said, throughout my pregnancy, I wasn't on any medication. I stayed active, I stayed fit, and I feel like that was such a bonus. So any advice I can give to anyone who's currently pregnant or about to go to labor, try your best to stay as fit as possible, and don't just relax, because your body naturally is at a stage of fight or flight at that moment when you're about to give birth. Yeah. So you can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to relax all from my pregnancy, because when it gets to that moment, you're going to be so tired already. But when you're already pumped up and like working out or, you know, staying fit, when that time comes, you have that strength to just push a bit more. Yeah. So that's my advice, guys.
Yeah, and for the lads, I mean, or the partners, I would just, my only advice would be try to get as much information and prepare yourself for the day of the birth. As much as possible, because like in your state where you were in the gas and air, you were not in the right state of mind. So had I not known those information that they were asking me, literally everybody would just be there looking at each other like Dundee. Yeah,
like, and ask questions. Ask questions. Because if you didn't ask, if she had just said, oh, would she like this injection? You were like, would it stop the pain? And she's like, yeah, okay, cool. But you asked, what are the side effects? Is this a good thing? So ask questions. Don't feel like you're being annoying by asking questions. No, you have to ask these questions. Otherwise, you won't know. And you've got to actually make sure that if they seem unsure about what they're about to give you, then you got to question it and be like, hold on a minute, you know? Because she felt a bit unsure, but she didn't really want to say.
And also, don't be afraid to, what's the word? Like, don't be afraid to speak up. If you think something's wrong, if you think something's not going right, if you think time's being wasted, if you think you're not being attended to, you've been abandoned, or whatever it is, you know,
speak up.
Like, speak up at that moment. You know, any questions, anything whatsoever, speak up at that moment. They're humans; they can make mistakes as well. You know, so if you notice anything, go ahead and just say it.
Yep. So overall, after giving birth,
sorry,
my recovery. Why?
I'm laughing right now because look at your son.
Oh my god, okay. Yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up. After giving birth, as I said, my recovery was so quick. Because I was not on any medications, I left without needing any medications to take home with me. I was active, I was fit, and recovery was so quick for me. And we're just blessed. So
how's motherhood right now? Like, it's been 11 months and a day?
Yeah.
11 months and a day.
You turned 11 months yesterday.
How has it been?
It's been amazing. Honestly speaking, it's been probably the best experience of my life. Honestly, motherhood is difficult. It's very, very challenging. It challenges you as a person and, you know, what you can tolerate. But to be honest with you, it's the most amazing journey I could ever be on, and I'm so happy and blessed to have this opportunity to actually be a mother. That's what I've got to say.
Right, so guys, on that note, we need to go.
All right, so thank you guys for watching.
Yes, indeed.
We hope it will help someone out there. If you have any questions, feel free to write them below and or DM us.
Just go ahead and follow Susan.
Or DM me. I'm more than happy.
I won't have any answers for you.
I'm more than happy to answer any questions, give any sort of things that I followed. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys.
Peace out, people.